Forget Staraptor and don't you dare bring up Fearow, because today we're talking about Pidgeot, the second Pokemon Ash ever caught, and the bird that carried half of our childhood teams. From its Route 1 loyalty in the games to that sudden heartbreak of an anime goodbye, Pidgeot is an all-time classic. If you say you don't know Pidgeot, then you've either never played Pokemon or you're lying, because these luscious golden locks are impossible to miss. And let's be real, who saved you when you found out Charizard couldn't even learn to fly? Pidgeot is pronounced however your 8-year-old self decided. It's a normal and flying type Pokemon introduced in Generation 1, back when flying types were real birds and not sky gods. It's the final evolution of Pidgey, who evolves into Pidgeotto at 18 and then Pidgeot at level 36, just late enough to make you wonder, do I still need this thing? The answer is always no, but I'm keeping it. Standing at 4'11" with a wingspan that could put small airplanes to shame, Pidgeot is a bird of prey, king of the skies, whose only enemy is the apex predator, power creep. In Generation 6, it got a mega evolution, proving that Game Freak sometimes does throw a bone to its forgotten dogs, or birds, helping it reach insane power and more hair with the Super Saiyan 2 Bang. Pidgeot's name is a fun little combination of pigeon and jet, basically what you get when the common bird decides that biological speed limits don't apply to it. Also probably the reason why you've misspelled pigeon with a D at least once in your life. But that's not me. Funnily enough, the Japanese name is without a D, but when you look at it, it just looks wrong. Design-wise, Pidgeot's long streaming crest and tail are reminiscent of birds in East Asian artwork, such as Feng Huang and birds of paradise, which are seen as symbols of grace, nobility, and sky-dwelling power. All this said, at its core it's quite basic and draws heavily from a mix of real-world birds, not only paradise birds, but also eagles, hawks, and fairy wren birds. When it mega evolves, its hair turns spiky and somewhat resembles decorative head feathers worn by warriors or tribal leaders. This is very fitting given the considerable power boost and aggressive playstyle Mega Pidgeot encourages. Pidgeot is promoted from the Sky's Protector to the Sky's Landlord, and everyone else is late on Sky Rent. The Pokédex loves hyping this creature up. They call it the bird Pokemon. Let's try that again. The Pokédex insists Pidgeot can fly at Mach 2, meaning 1,535 miles per hour and 2 times the speed of sound, which is both impressive and mildly terrifying. To put this into perspective, Pidgeot is matching fighter jet speed. If it was an actual bird flying that fast, it would disintegrate in the air pressure. If you're still not getting it, that's twice the speed of Sonic the Hedgehog. But come on, when people see the base speed of 91, the jig's up. On another note, it's also said to have such great vision that it can spot Magikarp splashing from 0.625 miles or 1 kilometer away. So that's cool and doesn't need to be mentioned ever again. Wait, they don't eat Magikarp, do they? We all used Pidgeot for one reason. HMO2 fly. Oh boy, when it turns into Mega Pidgeot, it can fly continuously for 2 weeks without rest. So don't skip Wing Day, guys, or you're gonna fall behind. In the Pokemon Adventures manga, Pidgeot only had minor appearances. It was most notably owned by Blue. At one stage, Red and Blue swapped Pokemon, and Red ended up with a Pidgeot, which he tried to make the most of, but it didn't really work out. Other than that, Pidgeot was sent with a bunch of other Pokemon to take out a mysterious man when the world was the closest to ending as it ever was before. I don't want to say too much about this man, as I will be making a video on him. Pidgeot was your first flyer, admit it, your first escape button, and discounted Sky Uber. It's extremely accessible from Route 1 originally, and very early in most games, and I guarantee you've all caught Pidgey in at least one of your playthroughs. Let's talk stats, because that's where the comedy begins. HP 83, attack 80, defense 75, special attack and special defense both at 70, and speed 101, giving a total of 479. You're thinking, wait, 101 speed is actually good. Why did you say it's slow earlier? Well, firstly, 101 speed isn't that good anymore. Secondly, its original speed base stat was 91, but it was suffocating more and more in every generation that it had to be buffed 10 points. To be fair, 91 speed was actually juicy in 1996. It was the fastest Pokemon in the game. Excluding Electrode and Mewtwo, Jolteon, Aerodactyl, Dugtrio, Alakazam, Persian, Starmie, Gengar, and maybe exactly 21 other Pokemon. But it felt fast, okay? Mechanically, it's a tale of missed potential. It was outclassed quickly by other flyers like Fearow, a faster, harder-hitting bird that evolved sooner, and Dodrio, another faster, harder-hitting bird that also evolved sooner. Not to mention they both have Drill Peck with a power of 80, while Pidgeot was stuck with Wing Attack, which had a base power of 35, which was later buffed to 60, but still just not good enough. It didn't take much to outclass it. In Generation 2 to 5, Pidgeot continued its ongoing commitment to being the most perfectly average Pokemon imaginable. Game Freak looked at it every generation, nodded politely, and said, "Not today." Its move pool expanded, its relevance did not. It started getting mogged by the real big boys of the flying world like Crobat, Staraptor, and Rayquaza, who are all commonly used as flyers and don't waste a spot on your team. In Generation 6 Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, Game Freak finally had enough of their golden bird being mocked and said, "Give him the thing." And they gave Pidgeot the thing. Thing being Megastone, and oh baby was that a thing and a half. Okay, I'm gonna stop saying thing now. You can find its Megastone as an unidentified stone in Verdanturf Town. Take it to Mr. Stone and you've got yourself a Pidgeotite. And once you Mega Evolve it, it became a special attacker, with speed going from 91 to 121. And special attack skyrocketing from 70 to 135. That's almost double. And the ability No Guard. Holy moly, did this give Pidgeot a bit of the shine it deserved. This fighter jet was throwing around hurricanes and heat waves with 100% accuracy like it's nobody's business. Being limited to 1 mega per team meant that everyone flocked to objectively better ones, like Charizard or Lucario. So only the most nostalgic trainers bothered. If you haven't tried Mega Pidgeot, I recommend making a team with it and spamming No Guard hurricanes and heat waves. It's surprisingly satisfying. If it doesn't work, just call them a tryhard to make them try less hard. It has a 0% success rate. As for Generation 7 Sun and Moon, you could get the stone through an event. And in the Let's Go games, these super mega rare ancient power stones can be bought from a guy at the Indigo Plateau. Pitiful. Unfortunately, it was still outclassed and not doing anything to the likes of walls like Blissey or Toxapex. To summarize, Generation 1 to 5, he tries his best. Generation 6, suddenly kinda terrifying with the Mega. Generation 7 onwards, he tries his best. Again. In Red, Blue, Fire Red, and Leaf Green, Blue is the trainer most associated with Pidgeot, as it's his lead throughout your rival battles and at level 59 when he becomes a champion. Despite the high level, its awful moveset and stats make it a walk in the park. In Generation 2 games, the Flying-type Specialist Gym Leader Falconer has a Pidgeotto as its ace originally, but if you rematch him, he has leveled it up to a Pidgeot at level 56, which has no damaging flying moves, so if you have a Ghost type, then you can do whatever you wish. When Blue becomes the 8th Gym Leader of Kanto, he also uses a Pidgeot, which is also kind of his ace as it's his highest level Pokemon. Whether it is your first match with him or rematch, he has a decent moveset, making Pidgeot somewhat powerful. The most dangerous Pidgeot has to be Falconers in Black and White 2 when competing in the World Tournament, sporting Brave Bird, Heat Wave, Tailwind, and U-Turn. These are powerful moves that also complement the team, so it brings the difficulty up a notch for sure. All things considered, it makes you wonder why anyone uses it. I have no idea, but I'll still use it in every playthrough. Maybe people tend to grow fond of it, or the popularity from the show had an influence. Pidgeot, I'm not like Ash. I'd never let you go. Now, the heartbreak. But before that, let's go over some other appearances. Falkner storms onto the scene with his Pidgeot, blowing Team Rocket into the stratosphere and announcing himself like he owns the entire region. Ash learns he's the Violet City gym leader and challenges him immediately. When Falkner's down to his last Pokemon, he sends out Pidgeot to face a very tired Pikachu, and somehow wins with Whirlwind?
Whirlwind attack!
Sure, why not? But the real fight is Charizard versus Pidgeot. And Pidgeot is absolutely handing Charizard a spanking and a half, outpacing it, outmuscling it, making Charizard look like it skipped leg day and wing day. Ash, the master tactician, realizes his only hope is to trap it in Fire Spin and drop the classic Seismic Toss, ending the battle. May later faces off against Soledad in a Pokemon contest double battle, with Soledad's Pidgeot and Slowbro taking on May's Combuskin and Munchlax. Yeah, choices were made. And it's just a complete professional grade dismantling. May has no answers, no counterplay, just pain. She still places top 4 though, so that's something. And now what you are all waiting for, Ash's Pidgeot. It all begins when Ash stumbles across a wild Pidgeotto. He tries to catch it at full health, gets clowned on, and then sends out Caterpie. An awful matchup that goes exactly how you'd expect. As Pidgeotto rushes in for the finishing blow, Ash pulls a morally questionable Gengar-level trick. While Pidgeotto is mid-charge, he recalls Caterpie. Momentum carries Pidgeotto into a tree like a confused woodpecker. Pikachu zaps it, and boom, catch secured. Team Rocket immediately kills the vibe, and Ash sends out his brand new and injured Pidgeotto, who uses what I can only describe as Fire-type Aerial Ace. Before getting pinballed between Ekans and Coughing, maybe sending out a Pokemon you weakened 5 seconds ago wasn't peak strategy, Ash. But give him a break, this was very early in the series. Ash then runs into a Weedle and a kid dressed as a samurai who fights with bug types because dark types simply didn't exist yet. They make eye contact and boom, battle. Pinsir versus Pidgeotto ends with Pidgeotto being deleted by a single tackle. Yes, this is the same episode where Metapod saves the day with Harden. With absolutely no prep work, Ash goes on to Pewter City and sends out Pidgeotto against Brock's Geodude. Gus does nothing and Geodude just throws hands. Literally, no moves, just knuckle sandwich until Pidgeotto faints. But honestly, none of these losses are Pidgeotto's fault. It had a rocky start, no pun intended, but it was clearly destined for better things. Actually, the pun was intended. During the second gym battle versus Misty, Pidgeotto actually does great. It goes blow for blow with Starmie, which is no joke. It tanks hits, bonks Starmie with wing attack on its head, core, gem thing, and racks up tons of damage with Gust. Starmie is deep in the red, and just as Pidgeotto is about to secure its moment, Team Rocket drops in like professionally trained buzzkills. Ash still gets the badge because, let's be honest, Pidgeotto was about to fold that Starmie like laundry. First official win achieved. From here, Pidgeotto improves a ton. It beats the stuffing out of Team Rocket on the SS Anne, helps Pikachu take down a giant Tentacruel, and only loses to Koga's Venomoth because it evolves mid-battle and pulls out Sleep Powder like a Yu-Gi-Oh! Trap card. One of its most underrated feats is going Super Saiyan at the Viridian Gym. Yes, it's against Team Rocket, but they were using Giovanni's actual Pokemon. Pidgeotto is out here smacking around a Rhydon with Quick Attack and Double Edge like it's nothing. Things get chaotic, as they always do, but let's not pretend that wasn't a massive win. We also won't talk about the time it was swallowed by a giant tribal Gengar in a fever dream of an episode. Ash finally qualified for the Indigo League by getting all the badges. On the way to the Indigo League, of course, Team Rocket interrupts the plot again and Pidgeotto dutifully gives Pikachu its Uber ride to victory. It even carries Ash on the frame of Team Rocket's balloon to make it to the Indigo tournament on time. Without Pidgeotto, Ash never even reaches the battle with Richie. But that last-minute effort leaves Pidgeotto exhausted and unable to fight. Ash is forced to use Charizard at the time when Charizard never listened to a single thing he said, and Ash loses. It genuinely feels like Ash could have beaten Richie if he had Pidgeotto ready. In Pallet Party Panic, Pallet Town throws its biggest party and everything is perfect. Unless you know what's to come after the party, when the real heartbreak begins. Team Rocket ruins the party, literally rains bombs on everything. Pidgeotto pops their balloon but gets poisoned by Arbok in the process and collapses into Ash's arm. It's a rare quiet moment, Ash comforting his partner, the bond between them more visible than ever. After treatment, Pidgeotto perks up immediately, happy to simply be by Ash's side. And it hits you how much these two have been through together. Professor Oak sends Ash to meet Professor Ivy and the group heads out with the full team. But the forest isn't safe. Fearow and Spearow have been terrorizing the local Pidgey and Pidgeotto flock. When Fearow attacks, Ash realizes it's the same Spearow he angered way back in episode 1. Chaos breaks loose and Ash sends out Pidgeotto to guide the flock to safety. It shows real leadership. Until Fearow swoops in and one-shots it, but Pidgeotto refuses to stay down. Through sheer will, it evolves into a magnificent Pidgeot and absolutely thrashes Fearow, sending it fleeing. With the flock safe, Ash makes the heartbreaking call Pidgeot should stay and protect the local flock in the forest. Ash promises to return once he finishes Oak's task. Just like that, he leaves behind a true potential powerhouse, and we lose a piece of our childhood hearts. Ash never returns to visit Pidgeot, but Pidgeot never forgets. It's there supporting Pikachu in the biggest battle of the entire series, Ash vs. Leon. In the final episode, thank goodness, they reunite one last time as Pidgeot swoops in to save them, still loving, still loyal. It's still watching over the forest, maybe, in a way, over Ash too. Seeing how happy Pidgeot is as a protector, I'd say things worked out for the best, even though Ash should have mentioned it every now and then. Pidgeot is not flashy, it's not overpowered, it doesn't show up on competitive leaderboards or high-stakes tournament streams, but it is a symbol, a monument to the era of simple teams, built not on stats but on trust and maybe a little bit of nostalgia. It was reliable and always put in work for our teams. It will always be our bird, and the first Pokemon we think of when we hear Flying type. Thanks for watching everyone. This was an emotional video for those of you that kept up with the anime, but I'm sure it also triggered the feeling of nostalgia for the gamers. Subscribe, like, and comment your favorite memory of Pidgeot. I feel like its story is only appreciated when looking back, from how Ash had it as a rookie and how it blossomed into the powerhouse Pidgeot we last saw. The saddest part is when it's carrying Ash to the Indigo tournament. It's really telling of what a great and hardworking addition to the team it is. Hope you enjoyed this one, and don't forget to let me know what you want to see in the next video.